Hi there. Good morning. I love you. And I ask you not to be hesitant to embrace a new me that you create, you see, in your mirror day by day like this. For I am, well, it's taken me 21 years to get here in this seat, this chair, this moment, this belief system. Or am I coming out of the belief system that I have always been in to realize that I am the creator me that creates you? Not, but me. I create me, my thinking mechanism, my gender, approval, unworthiness, acceptance, joy, peace. What are you creating this day for you? And are you willing to see a different story than all that you have heard all of your life to teach you to be something separate from you? We've been taught all of our lives to be something separate from what we really are. We've been taught to be humanity, flesh, people that worship something else, compare ourselves to each other. And be insatiably steeped in want, always wanting more, always wanting more. It's been said, what do people who are powerful want? What do they really want when they're really powerful people? More power. What does a person who's made $1 million now want? Another million. It's all insatiable. You see, insatiability is about the soul. The soul that we are no longer trying to save. We're no longer like Gulliver in Gulliver's Travel. We're no longer looking out at the macro thinking we're not part of the equation and that all this has happened to us. We're a worm. And whatever our righteousness is as filthy rags to the Creator. Come now, Jack Black. Come now to a different movie, a different stance, a different knowledge. Are you willing to have the knowledge of God? But what if you find out in your love for God that you become open enough humble enough to begin to let something teach you of another nature? Not just a teacher that affirms you're on the right track, not just that affirms you are coming along well. Not a teacher that just wants you to keep striving. Striving. Study to show yourself acceptable, and maybe you'll make it into heaven. God is always watching. The judge. The judge is keeping a record of right and wrongs. But friend, that's not love. And I've differentiated love from God now multiple times in these recordings. This is a school. I am a school. A schoolmaster, a school student, a school creator. Because I'm asking you to create a school. The school of you. The school of you, yes. To teach you that you and the faculty and the staff and the student are one. And you are never without the teacher. Because the teacher that we seek, the teacher that I express about, that I talk about, the real Gulliver, the real land, the real heaven, the real I am, is not limited to all that we've been taught, nor limited to all that we see with our five sense mind, because we are learning now to see without our five sense mind. We're learning to see without the limits that our two eyes and two ears impose upon us in this energy spectrum. We are no longer insignificant to creation. We are no longer insignificant to God. We're no longer spectators to this creation. We're growing up. You see, there's several movies made about Gulliver's Travels. A couple of them. One in particular is really just goofy. It's a farce, but anyway, there's multiple movies you can see, but one of them, Gulliver is in a land. But see, Gulliver is there and has knowledge that all the people there don't have. So when someone gets sick, he immediately diagnoses. He knows what's wrong, and he knows what to give them. But he said, "Oh, I need a few elements. Like, where's the laboratory?" Or at least this is how I remember it. So he goes into this laboratory and puts a few things together, like, I don't know, simple things, water, baking soda, And someone comes in while he's doing that, and they say, "Oh, this is all magic. You're of the dark side. You're of evil. This is all evil." Magic. You see, it's all science. Science? It wasn't science to them, those people that are portrayed in the movie. It was alchemy. It was the dark side. It was evil. To him, it was just science. Common sense. I suggest to you that all of our lives, everything that we haven't understood, that we've attributed to a higher power, we've stepped back. We've taken a back seat and said some higher power called God, no matter what your name for God, God created this. Worship God, fall down before God. People put out books and worship books, canonized books. Authorizers arose in the authority of their own assumption of their own power to authorize others or deny others power, to have power over those people, and say who had the right and power and who didn't, and who was to serve and how they were to dress, who their friends could be, how they should shun people that don't believe like them. Religion is useless, except for one thing: to deny you your power, to deny you your understanding, to keep you in your faculties of love, your ability to understand, to see, to think, to feel, to create, my friend. For you were created the Creator. And all this time we've been dumbed down, dumbed down, dumbed down, dumbed down, and damned and damned and damned by each other. Damned by religion, damned by the church, damned by whoever doesn't look like us, talk like us, think like us, believe like us. It's just like Gulliver's Travels. Imagine with me. See, I've talked about leadership. This is a school of leadership. This is my school of leadership. I'm leading me to learn leadership because I didn't learn leadership in a school, even though I have my doctorate in leadership. I have a doctorate degree. Well, you could see it if I turned the camera. I have an MBA. I have. But what's it worth? What's it worth if I decay? What's it worth if I don't have a dollar bill? Pay my light bill. What's it worth if my son has a fever or my daughter has a toothache? And I don't have a dollar? The world operates by dollars. Oh, but what about the knowledge? Oh, these other people had knowledge. Maybe they gained it by alchemy, dark arts. They learned it in Hogwarts. You know, what are you willing to learn this day? What did Jesus learn? There are various stories about different people at different times performing miracles. But what did they do? How did they do it? Were they authentic? Were they accurate? What's the report? I'm suggesting to you something maybe so very radical to you. We're all creators, and every one of us has the power to create. We can all walk into the laboratory and recreate ourselves. Grow new flesh, put a new brain in our head, create a new mind, go to a new planet. No, it's not quite like that. But what does it take to get us all out of the box? What if the Bible? What if the story of the chosen people? The chosen people? Who became enslaved in Egypt is a metaphor. It's an allegory. Are you willing to see the allegory? Not the alchemy, not the dark arts. Are you willing to see science? Are you willing to understand? We don't need God anymore. Blasphemous. Sacrilege. You wound me. You wound my belief system. I like my blanket. Don't hurt my teddy bear. I like my Santa Claus story. I don't know how else to say these things. I could try to be more tactful. But I can no longer be surreptitious about it. Do you understand? It's time for us to stand up and no longer be led by religion, to be worshipers of a story. Because what we experience when we worship, those emotions at times of anointing, of pouring out, of loving the music and soaring in blissfulness, is not because of an external anointing. It's because of the internal ability of who we are. And if you're willing to love, you can love anything you want. You can love cruelty and brutality and worship it. But when you begin to learn to love, you begin to come into a different aura, a different energy, a different world, a different understanding, a different dimension. Even though you seem to be in this one, this 3D limited world. What if you're an interdimensional being? What if there are multiple worlds that exist right now in your room around you? What if a great cloud of witnesses is right here? What if they're all taking notes from you? They're listening to you. They're listening to you to see how to get here in this one. Is that so far-fetched? Maybe we're taking notes and we're listening and we're trying to receive, perceive, diagnose, and be healed from these limitations so we get into theirs, the infinite realm. I am not limited to this 3D realm. I am no longer limited to your molecules or mine, nor the way the axon hillocks function, nor your neurons, nor the electromechanical, electrophysiological mess operates according to the way our spaghetti brains seem to control us, that we worship the intellect of. This is not the school of intellect. I'm not interested in issuing degrees that certify that you have a certain level of knowledge that you can go regurgitate on someone else's assembly line or in their offices to make money for them or just make money for you to fill a hole with no bottom. Oh, you just You realize you keep putting money into bags with holes, don't you? Or do you? Are you willing to see the insatiability of the soul and quit trying to save it, redeem it, honor it, worship the soul, save it? That thing that condemns you, that thing that generates an energy, the voice of an energy that condemns you, that says you're not worthy, says, who are you fooling? What do you mean? You see, the accuser, Satan, the inner voice, the unregenerated inner voice is in control. The mind, the soul, I'm calling it the soul because that's the religious term that everybody religious wants, or so many want to save, because it goes somewhere else to be in bliss when all of this is over. No, my friend, you have the opportunity to see Gulliver's Travel. You can study the Matrix movie. You can even watch The Truman Show 30 times, whatever it takes for you to get it. Get what? Get the message. The message of what? That you're in charge. That you have authority. You're no longer a bump on a log. My friend, if you're around me, I pray to you that you will no more be susceptible to the belief system that creates you as a believer to believe you are subject to other people's authority, even God's. I live, I breathe, I learn, I live. I live through what I breathe. I live my words. My words come through my breath. I am my word. I'm no longer subject to yours. Imagine with me a moment. Some of you are programmers, masters, genius at programming. You know many computer languages. Some of you even work on AI. Some of you are AI. Maybe we're all AI. Maybe we're all robots. Maybe at one point in time, before this evolution, before this iteration, before this present creation, whether you call it 6,000 years or not, whether in this iteration, we programmed, we learned to program, we knew different computer languages, we created an AI. Maybe we're like Tron. Think with me a moment. Seriously. Consider the idea. Look at code, whether it's HTML, JCL, COBOL, RPG, or any number of a million languages, Python. You see, think about how easy it is to begin a project, to code a new system, a new operating system, a new app, and literally become obsessed with it functioning a certain way, having certain capacity, where you outline the rules. You set the speed limit of light. Light can only go so fast in what? Your world, your app. So you're creating an app that runs on you. And we're taught how apps work. And we create apps. Now we're creating apps to create apps. We create people. We have babies. We teach them with the intelligence that we are. And we inculcate all of the limitations that we have experienced into them. So they have the same limitations instead of the same freedoms. Instead of setting their imagination free, their ability, their capacity, their root system. What is their root? In hell? Are we all in hell? What is hell? Are we in separation? Separation from what? Separation from the real us. Did you watch Tron Legacy? Did you watch it? Have you gotten the message? If you haven't, watch it again. Consider it. See, begin to learn a new learning system where even though you may be watching a movie, terrific entertainment, seductive actors, full of sex, violence, friend, you see, what can you see? What can you see being said? What is the allegory? Just like in the Bible, the children of Israel, chosen people. My friend, I tell you who the chosen people are. The most chosen of all are you who choose you. The chosen people are who choose to be the chosen people, to choose you to love love. And by love, you redefine all things. You redefine your existence in humility, not arrogance. And the brutality of arrogance and the arrogance of brutality and the cruelty of man want to more rule this world. Because we're taking over. Not. We're creating a new one. And nothing can limit us nor keep us from it. Because it's all inside you. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning is the Word. And this is the beginning of a new world. It's the beginning of a new beginning. It's the beginning. And no one can keep you out of your chair, no matter what it looks like, no matter how ragged or tattered, no matter what you dress in. See, the kingdom of God. Let's understand diction and grammar and what diction and grammar does to us, what syntax controls our lives. What really is this mechanism between your ears doing? Or can it do? Did you see Limitless? Did you see the movie Lucy? Not Desi Arnaz, Lucy with Scarlett, I think's her name. Came out a few years ago. There's a learning system which develops your ability to learn a new way, where you begin to see and assimilate in ways that do not limit you to line by line, precept by precept. If you limit your learning to book learning, reading, line by line, precept by precept, I suggest you upgrade. You upgrade. It's time to upgrade. Time to update. Yep, there's a new version out. A new MO. It's okay to laugh. Well, we need some fun. We've despaired. We've hurt. So many of us. We've wounded ourselves, wounded each other, taught people how to be in pain and suffer. I don't teach that anymore. I'm not teaching you how to love God and suffer. No, my friend, I'm teaching you a new song. If you're around me, you will begin to learn love, the modus operandi of love. And the MO of love is to love each other. Instead of always comparing yourself. Oh, they're gorgeous. I wish I had their looks. Oh, I wish I had his yacht. I wish I had money. I wish, I want. And see, all of that is making you subject to the soul, your soul. And you can control it because you're the designer of it. But if you don't control it, it will control you because it works according to everybody else's word. The word is the seed. The seed of what? The seed of the power of your creativity, of your hate world, your world of hate, your world of ignorance. I used to worship God. I was a worshiper. Oh, man, I learned how to worship. I learned how to dance, flail my arms, be free, all to worship music, giving myself to Him. I no longer give myself to Him. I'm a woman. Don't think I'm kidding. But I look like a man? Yep. I changed my words. I changed the source for my words. I am woman because I have a womb. A womb that ejects me no more in sorrow. That rejects my creatorship of me no more. I have a mind. I have a sentience. I have an understanding. I have an essence. And I no more incarcerate me in this flesh suit that you think is a man. Because I'm a woman. Or am I beauty? Or am I beautiful? Am I perfect? I suggest to you perfection is feminine. Not in the erotic, seductive sense, but not limiting it. I suggest to you, let's define what perfect is. Needing no money, no longer having to pay your light bill. You live in a free, a mansion that's free. A mansion? Free. You come and go as you please. You're not under anybody else's authority. You're able to heal people. You can walk on water. You can turn water into wine. You can serve a banquet at a moment's notice when people just drop in who just happen to be in the neighborhood of your planet. You control your mind, or your mind controls you, or your soul. What's the difference? I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm learning. I am in school. I am in school, and this is my school, and I've been in school all my life. But for 21 years, I channeled, except when times when I dispensed with it when I was in such utter despair. Utter despair. That I gave up multiple times in these 21 years. Where I didn't record, where I didn't write. Disgusted. Is it all futile? No. Because it wasn't like a fire that was shut up in my bones. But eventually, the pain of being stagnant the pain of realizing that if I didn't keep learning, I would simply go the way that humanity has gone for eons. Work like a dog, try to pay my bills. Be kind to who I can. Age well. Become more and more decrepit. And die. And yet all the times, even when I didn't record, times when I gave up, Love didn't give up on me. Love, you see, was not external. Love was not inside me either. It wasn't inside or outside. Love was me. And I kept separating it, praying to it, wanting it to happen to me, wanting to be regenerated. I wanted to be resurrected. I wanted to take flight, fly out of here. I was ready for some peace. There's that scene in the Matrix movie I've thought of so often. In the first movie of the Matrix, it's just after Morpheus and Trinity locate Neo. And anyway, shortly thereafter, they contact him and he's in the car going along in the rain. And they begin to explain. And he says, no, I don't want this. I don't believe this. I don't believe this is happening. I don't believe what you're telling me about reality. Stop the car and I'll get out. So they stop the car. He opens the door. It's raining. And he looks down the road that they just rode down. Sees the bridge and all the water. He starts to get out, and Trinity says, Neo, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go back. Neo says, why? Trinity said, as I recall, you've been there. You know where that leads. If we keep doing the things that we have done, we know where it will lead, to death. I'm no longer assuming death is inevitable. I'm no longer assuming it is appointed unto man once to die and then the judgment. I am no longer assuming. I am not the chosen because I choose me. How can I choose me? I choose me because I've learned. I've learned to choose me day by day in the things that I record, that I learn from. Many times I have felt like hell. Felt like I had nothing to say. I had no knowledge. I was more ignorant than everybody else, driving myself crazy at times, it feel like, at times. And then at times, I didn't want to record, but I would record. Not every time, because there were those seasons I gave up. But somehow, love didn't give up on me. And that spark of something in me, I had the knowing that if I don't continue to revelate, if I don't continue to channel, if I don't continue to connect with something beyond me that tells me I'm it, then I simply go the way of everybody else. And I'll soon be put 6 feet under. So I humble myself and I surrender to record. And that's why I have recorded thousands of times over 21 years. Do you realize I have over 2,000 recordings on YouTube? I've taught about God. I've taught about prayer. I've taught about the Lord's Prayer, what it all means. I've taught about the New Covenant. I've explained the New Covenant hundreds of times. I've explained the process. I've explained the chosen people. I've explained the origin of God. I've explained your origin, redefining your origin, redefining my origin multiple times, because knowledge is a flow. The knowledge of the truth is a flow. And as soon as you say, that's it, I've got it, and you peg it, you become stagnant. Because if you codify it to a certain level of canonization, where you canonize it and you say, this is it, you just stop the flow. That's why I say record. Create a course. Outline this message. Yesterday, all of them that start with the title Meonics. It's not insurmountable. My friend, you are timeless. And your beauty is unending. The beauty of love. Perfection. What is perfection? Perfection is the state of being no longer in separation. There is no other sin. I don't care about your list of rules. I don't. There's a great difference between ignorance and apathy. There's a great difference between not knowing and caring. Words are powerful. And words control you unless you begin to lead. What words form you? And it is time for you to form your words and not let the words of others form you, because you are the creator and you are creating you. And now, this is not alchemy. This is not the worship of God for God to come do something to you, heal you, beg for a miracle, beg for money, beg for all your needs to be met. My God shall supply all my need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. What does that mean? Oh, it means I work like hell. Pay for my kids' education. Piano teachers. Science fair projects. I know what lack is. I know what bankruptcy is. I know what divorce is. I know a lot of things. Some I wish I didn't know. But I sit here in this chair this day in the role of what? An advisor, a guide, a coach, a teacher. My friend, I have a message. And the message is so strong, so beautiful. You are not subject to all that you have been taught. And you are no longer subject to your mind as you know it. That mind that has tormented you, the accuser of the brethren, that's been like a tape recorder that's played over and over and over, causing you to compare yourself to other people, calling you unworthy, calling you to God, calling you to worship God, calling you to cry out, help me. Believe me. You have the power to recreate you. This is the message. You don't need a God story anymore. We're growing up. The iteration of people who came through the God story, who were taught all about Santa Claus, but they still want their Santa Claus story. And they are not going to believe anything else. They are going to die believing in Santa Claus story. I mean the God story, where they go and worship because they want to believe they are right. They are right in their own eyes. They've experienced some kind of emotion, the anointing. They've experienced salvation. They've done this, that, or the other. They're going to die out now. Not overnight. But you don't have to die. You can recreate you. Recreate you how? You can recreate you with the dew of your youth, where love says, come sit at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. But you may think about your enemy being this, that, and the other. But if you will come in humility as a child and begin to let love teach you, love will define who your enemy is. All of your enemies come under the heading of one word: ignorance. So sit here at my right hand while I make your enemies your footstool. Is just a metaphor. Again, a picture, a word picture that we are to find out the understanding of, rather than just calling it alchemy. It's God. No, my friend. We are taking responsibility for us, or are we accepting the privilege to operate in the capacity of who we really are? And this is what you answer this day, this life. Are we going to hold on to all the properties of what we claim our app does for us that we want to sell to each other? I create this app. I promise you, you'll make millions. You'll do this, that, and the other. You know, it'll solve all your problems. Bow down and worship my app. We become infatuated so easily with an idea, with an ideal, with the mystique, the mystery, because we don't understand it. So it must be God. We don't understand how to experience time travel. Telepathy. Why do I need these syllables? All of these languages didn't exist, supposedly, according to one ancient writing, maybe you call it the Bible, until the Tower of Babel. I suggest we didn't have two genders until Genesis 2, when the Lord God separated us. Originally, when we were created, man and woman, we weren't two. It's how you read the words. What can you see in the words that are even there? And quote, he created them man and woman. You think that was two? No. In Genesis 1, that was one, genderless. Weren't separated till Genesis 2. There's so much more to the story if you're willing to understand it, and you're not dumb. You're not unworthy. You're not unintelligent. You're not a bastard of the kingdom of heaven. You're it. You're no longer serving a Lord God. You're no longer serving a Lord. You're no longer serving a God, unless you choose to. But you can lay down your life. You can prostrate yourself. You can devote your life and be a diligent, disciplined disciple like I was for much of my life, or more so, more or less. But along these years, love has taught me, because I have channeled love and learned things I never dreamed I would even imagine, much less speak out loud, teach, begin a school of leadership. Why leadership? Because you're no more dependent upon another. You're no longer dependent on your husband or your wife. You're a pastor. You're no longer dependent upon your religion. You're no longer dependent on your God story. No matter what your name for God was, your name for God is Santa Claus no more, or whatever you want to call it. Original love. Original love. Before this thought world. Before those different worlds that Gulliver went into existed. I was. I am. But I'm no longer creating an app that I'm infatuated with, that possesses me. I no longer fall into my own thought world. I'm taking my thoughtster, the mask of thought, the thought realm. I'm taking it off of me, and I will be naked as truth. A state of being, of perfection that most of us have never imagined because our imaginer has been broken. Our will has been broken to see who we really are. And to exercise our love, our creativity, to design worlds, rather than just be shown what someone else has come up with. I will no longer live your law. You know, it's a real privilege to share these words with you. Thank you. I'm recording this in one sense. But at this moment, I am live streaming my words over YouTube. So I don't actually know if you can see how many people are here at the moment. But apparently on my screen, there's 2 of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. You're not ordinary. You're special. You're chosen. Because I choose you? No. Because God chose you? No. Because you chose you to be here at this moment. You have chosen you to be here at this moment. You have chosen to click, to listen to these words and consider them. And I bow before you. And I honor you. I'm asking you all to choose you. Whoever listened to these words forever and ever and ever, choose you. Be the chosen one. No longer taking yourself to a cross. No longer believing in Golgotha. No longer believing the chosen people of the Jews, or that Israel is the perfect world, or the chosen race for the chosen people in a chosen place. No, my friend, understand the words and no longer let syntax, no longer let the definitions, the nuance of definitions, the nuance of diction and grammar, and other people's thoughts and commentaries contaminate, condemn you. You are the chosen one. Understand allegory. And if you want to know, you will be taught not. Because want is a condition. Want I'm going to differentiate it. It's like I consider want, as want is usually stated, and so insatiable, it's like a disease. It's like a terminal disease. You want, you want, you want. Nothing will satisfy that want. That's different. In my defining it, in my definition, it's different than desire. I desire you live a life of love. I desire us to be free. I desire us to see that we are all creators of the King. The King of Kings. We're the King of all the creators. We're the one. We're the one is all connected to the one who will love love. Love is our body. Love is us. The real one. The real us. No longer running the programs of other people. The matrix will no more keep us mixed up in sin or wanting to appease a God or comply with the rules or the commandments of a God or a race that determines itself how long it will live and appoints each other to die and enforce their rules about how long my skirt is or whether I wear one or not. I like earrings. I loved lipstick. I loved it. Having my nails painted. I dressed as a woman for a while. It was both euphoric and hell. Nobody understood. Because I was identifying as a woman. A long time I said it was part of my spiritual path. But I'm no longer dedicated to the spiritual. I'm dedicated to the real. The real. The mind of science? Science of the mind? No. The perfection of love. The perfection of love being all who will perfect it to no longer be separate from love, the originator of love, who love all equally, so that you see every person of every tribe and tongue as equal to you and love them. And when you love them, you're patient, you're kind, and you treat people differently because it's no longer just a transaction. It's no longer just a transaction at the register, the grocery store, the gas station. You're no longer detached from what's happening because you're the creator. And you're conveying something. I ask you to convey love. Convey love and create it. You see, when you begin to experience this, and you begin to channel a learning that no longer takes your creatorship from you, you begin to touch a world of dimensionlessness. Love that you've never known. Joy that you don't know how to describe. And yet sit here and drink coffee together. This is my school. Of me. I'm schooling me. Now, I appreciate you being here. And my request is for you to create a school. Out of these words, to create your words, so that your words create you instead of somebody else's. I'm asking you to be Love in Two Shoes with your name right here on your forehead. Powerless, not again. Powerless no more. Whether you're 90 years old, 99, you're still sitting in that rocking chair in a nursing home. Let me tell you, you're not done with life unless you choose to be. The power of love is not powerless. The power of love makes people walk, not the power of love listens for love. And the lovers will lead this nation. Women with a womb. No longer birthing a male child. I may look like a man, but my energy is reproducing me because the seed of love impregnated me. And I speak the words, I have become love in a man's body. But the generation of love, the seed that I speak of, the source for my words that I am tender with, that I nurture, that nurtures me, is one. I have changed my source for my words. And no longer subject to this flesh. I am no longer subject to man. I am no longer man, subject to the seed of separation. I have become one with the love I am. And love I disseminate. Love I dispense. Love I teach. Love that is powerful. Love that looks God in the eye. It says, I will not serve you any longer. I fabricated you. You said you fabricated me, but I was you. And no longer will I embrace that story because I am not feeble. And I am you, and I choose me. I am me who chooses you, who love is. I am no longer created by a story that says a creator created me, and I'm to serve it. All of those security blankets and all of the complacency with all of its complicity will no more create me. I'm Theodore Cottingham. I'm responsible for these words. I am responsible for my words. And I create me with my words a new me. And I will not serve you, but I will love you. And this is how I love. I teach, and I ask you to teach. I ask you to learn to channel like this, where the energy of you creates a new you and a new source for your words. And that you no longer let the tape recorders of this world and the electromagnetic forces with all of its apparitions and excellence and ebullience put its tentacles into you. Because you are the most holy of all. You're not limited to your neurons, nor any of the programs which run on your mainframe. Because we are no longer connected to the master of sorrows. We are creating the real us. This is my name, my job, my duty, no, my privilege. Take not the sword upon you for any reason, but walk in love. Because you, my friend, are stronger. You're negligent no more. You're duped no more. You're coming out of the naivety of marriage to someone else, something else. The stagnation of you. Learning to channel If you don't know how to channel, begin. Begin in humility as a child. You can begin with my words, for the purpose of my words is to release yours, to recreate you, your creation of, that suffers not again in flesh. The new beginning is here, and it's now upon this earth. And I am Theodore Cottingham. TheodoreCottingham.com, and I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the privilege of sharing these moments, this time, this energy of what you've heard, what you felt, what you can create. Take the lid off of your box. Take the box out of your life. Come out. Be naked. You see, all the assumptions of man are so limiting. I'm asking you to reproduce in peace, not limited to molecular form. I realize you know more. Need your flesh. You know more limited to your body. Become the interdimensional you, the immortal you, the infinite you, connected to the infinite, no longer subjugating yourself to be the subject of sorrows, worshiping something else. TheodoreCottingham.com, the School of Leadership, my School of Leadership. Yesterday I added cosmic. Did you notice? Did you go to my website? Do you go to my website every day? I change it almost every day. I add, subtract, modify, delete. I write code. I change words. I change pictures because the message is not evolving. But the message is no more creating me. I am creating the message as I learn to share, asking you now to share too. Share what? Your school, your love, your ability, your time, your effort, your energy. I'm asking you to give it away to sorrow no more. How to begin? As a little child. Begin to take time. Take out a tablet and a pen. Begin to write. If you don't know where to begin to outline these words. Listen to this message over and over. I listened to many of my channelings 3, 4, 5 times, and some many more. Print it out. Outline it. Blog about it. Create a blog. You can create a blog. Free. Many places now. Not with the objective to create listeners, but for the objective of you to help open up the channel for your words to flow out of you. To hear, to be heard by the great cloud of witnesses, by those who are taking notes. You may not see the people who come behind you yet. Don't limit your beauty. Please don't limit your power. Please don't think you're just a flesh person, waiting on God, dependent on God. Outline this. Write down the key words. But see, as you listen and you outline and you begin to write notes in this school, do so surrenderedly, allowing the creativity of perfection, the creativity of love to connect in you words and phrases that have new meanings, where you begin to experience the revelation of light being created in you in new ways, so that you no longer remain hardwired to this piece of flesh. Let not your neurons create your world for you, nor your definitions, nor your destiny, because you have authority. And I'm asking you to walk in your authority. Begin to write. Write me. Write me in Box 34 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. For now. Write me. Write me at Theodore Eureka at Gmail. Write me. Love me. Me. Who am I? I'm the one you are in your mirror if you will be me. The energies of the source. Not of all sources, but the source of perfect love. Heal you with your love this day. Heal each other. And in this process, you will feel transformation. You will begin to let go of grudges that you have nursed. Hurts and wounds. Habits. Because you're no longer trying to follow the rules. You're no longer worried about judgment. You're no longer seeking the comfort of another God. You're no longer waiting as a person, a follower. You're becoming a leader. To become a leader, pick up your pen and lead you out of the box. Outline this. Outline. Maybe on your sheet of paper, on your yellow tablet, draw a line right down the middle. And on the left side, make notes of key words and phrases that are meaningful to you that I speak, leaving all of that space in the right side of the page for sudden flashes, momentary connections of, oh, well, if that's true, then write it down. Maybe there's a movie, a book you suddenly remember. Has nothing to do with what I'm saying. That's okay. We're not disconnected. Love loves flight, not love loves light. Light and love. But flight we may take one day, not needing jet engines. Not subject to the force. The force of your sorrow that needs metal will no more rule us. We are light beings of light. This is a race of light. And you, my friend, are not insignificant in this race of light. There are people waiting on your words, if you will be willing to speak them, willing to teach them, willing to outline a course, willing to blog, willing to put a course online, a little micro course, mini course, Write a mini book. Who is this guy? Who am I? Who are you? Be creative. Begin to do things you've never done before. And unbreak your imaginer. Unbreak. In other words, heal. Heal sounds so religious, though. Be the scientific you, the science of you, the natural you. Come as a little child and begin to ask questions. Questions of what? Questions of love. Where does love reside? Inside you. Your mind. Not limited to your soul, because you're no longer trying to save you for anybody else's process. You're the creator recreating you. And this is my message. And I love you. And I thank you for allowing me to share these words with you. This time, this energy, this moment, this place, this space for you to arise in joy. Arise and do things you've never done before. There is no fear in perfect love. Perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love keeps no record of right and wrong. So if you're around the rule keepers, keeping track of everything right and wrong according to what they want to dictate to you, I imagine you're in a world of sorrow, but you're no more limited to it because you're no more the powerless. You are me. Who will be me? Who am I? Love. I'm a body of love. My energy may seem like whatever you want to interpret it as, but I am love in two shoes because I have encountered it. I have loved it. It loved me and became me as I became it, the one we are, a new race. Now, no more suffering the iterations of sorrow. I love you all. My name is Theodore Cottingham.com. I invite you to write me. I invite you to share with me. Send me what you have channeled, if you want to. An article you write. What your goals, dreams, and visions are. I'm not asking for a bunch of words. I'm asking that you start, that you initiate, that you're no longer just a listener, because you are a creator. Now create words, create with your words. Create your flow of words, learning to channel, learning to create, learning to redefine your world, learning to outline these lessons and see them as lessons. To see me as a teacher, to see you as a teacher, where you begin to learn from you, through your own connections. Where your word is your light. And your body is no more limited to this world. Good day. Thank you again. I love you. Theodore Cottingham, Theodore Eureka @gmail.com. I love you. Love you first. Love each other. Good day. You know, so many times it's like things like this channeling, like this time of teaching begins to wind down. I don't know if I've ever said this, maybe once. But in sharing like this, and trying to explain it. The only analogy, the only picture that I've ever had about what I feel so many times like this. It's really common that I feel this, trying to end, to explain how I feel, trying to end these sessions, these recordings. It's like the best picture I know, like in a movie or something, but it's like two lovers who love each other so much, so dearly. They're not with each other all the time. And they have to part. And you know, the idea. You hug, kiss, you embrace, you smooch, you caress so tenderly, you exchange soft, loving words, and you turn and you go and you take a few steps and you turn around and each other turns around and you go back and you hug each other again and you go and you go and you do it again and finally you think, I gotta go, and you go. We have other things to do today. Feel my love throughout the day, I pray. Love you. Love each other with a love that never ends. Be the real you. I love you. See you, friend. Good day.